It's a second line day. Hello, welcome. We are in gate 43 and the second line is called dedication. Our second lines are hermits. They're the Democrats. Second lines are hidden. So here we have the gift of insight. That's hidden. The knowing that needs to be called out. A unique mind that doesn't know it's unique and just wants to be left alone. These are people who talk out loud and they don't know if anybody listens to them. They're the kind of people who are walking around the house and all of a sudden you hear them say, "Oh, I know." And you wonder who it is that they're talking to. In the exaltation, the maintenance of specialized attitudes which promote breakthrough, unique mental habits and thought processes which promote insight. These people can have linguistic tics, for example, repeating things out loud again and again. The sky is blue, the sky is blue, I know, I know. For some reason, it always makes me want to think of rocking as well. I know, I know. This is their way of going through their knowing. When they are learning something, they may have a very specialized sort of out loud technique for learning that drives other people crazy and seems very weird. But that's their process for getting things through, getting things in there. Unique mental habits and thought processes which promote insight. You can imagine, it's pretty much a certainty that for many of these people through much of our history, they were considered mad. Because all of a sudden they would just blurt something out and it made no sense at all, and they would be labeled as being possessed by the devil. This is a freak channel. And people who have the 43-2, they can feel possessed by the words that suddenly blurt out of them. Second lines need to be left alone. Don't distract them. They don't want to be distracted. Every once in a while in their life, they will need to be tested in the sense that they will need to try to explain themselves and their knowing, and they will be called out. But give them time. Don't distract them in their individual process. There are some second lines that are screaming to be called out, but this is not one of them. All second lines in all the individual gates deny the possibility that anyone else is smart enough to teach them anything. And of course, that's very healthy for them. Otherwise, we don't get their uniqueness. And yet this is the lower trigram, and they don't need others to help them to externalize their knowing successfully. They have to be called out by someone who sees something in them, but it's not necessarily going to be comfortable. In the detriment, we have a dedication to action that when actualization is in sight may become incautious. The urge for expression that will abandon its normal processes when an opportunity arises. The action mentioned here is that of the verbal gunslinger. Anyone who's ever been a teacher will have come across these. This is the children who always have their hands in the air saying, "I know, I know, I know, ask me, I know." And then when you call on them, they don't know, but they can't say that. And so they get very flustered and they become very uncomfortable. And after a while, they stop putting their hands up at all. If you can't explain yourself, you're a freak. To be able to explain yourself and explain something as a mutative force, that gives you a certain amount of freedom. And it gives a certain amount of completion as well. The incautiousness comes because, generally speaking, the 23 is already and always available at the other end. So the 43 can automatically just blurt out whatever the knowing is in the moment, which can seem absurd to somebody else, which is not to say that it cannot be of enormous value as well. And so it shouldn't automatically be discounted. The 43 too can be funny because of the way they throw stuff out, given the right circumstances. And then instantaneously that can be gone and the other side of it can come out and they seem quite normal. That's their protection. Because of the freak nature, there's a lot in individuality that pretends to be like everyone else. The acoustic tics that are related to the mind and the awareness here, they contain a gift. Because of the unusual way in which the mind works, it's often being a repetition of sounds, this can lead to excellent language skills. When the 43 hears a sound, it's trying to figure out how to translate it in order to know how to explain it. It's not turning a picture into a word. That's what the collective does. It is turning an inner sound into an outer sound. The grounding is coming through gate 23, of course, in the second line, called self-defense. Individuals can be hiding a lot of fear. They may have a brazen exterior, but there will be fear if you just scratch the surface a little bit. There's the fear of being rejected, the fear of being ostracized or exiled, the fear of being singled out and picked on. When you come to the 23-2, you have a knower who doesn't let anyone know that they know. No one. No, they're just walking around their room with the lights on. They don't let anybody know. And this is actually quite a safe place for a knower to be. Don't tell anyone what you know. You may end up in a lot of trouble if you can't explain it properly. And even if you can explain it, you might end up in a lot of trouble. It comes back to timing again. Timing and strategy and authority. The moon has been in gate 22 since 8:51, the individual solar plex gate of grace and openness. And it moves into gate 36 at 18:14, another solar plexus gate, this time collective. Gate 36 is the gate of crisis, the darkening of the light. We need to experience crisis in order to progress, in order for change to come. This is a manifestor channel, or a gate in a manifestor channel. The crisis could have quite an impact, of course, and being emotional, it shouldn't be acted on straight away, which is so much easier said than done. And finally, we have gate 25 at 3:32 tomorrow morning. This is the G center gate of innocence, the gate of universal and unconditional love. With this gate defined, you may be able to tap into the energy of compassion for all life, not necessarily one individual over another, but all life equally. It's a gate that may meet many challenges in its life, challenges that take it deeper into innocence and the potential selflessness that is the foundation of this gate. So, thank you very much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow for a third line exploration of gate 43. Until then, have a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Go gently.